Evening, boys. Right, you catch me at the end of play on a Friday. We've had a storm in today, so the weather has been absolutely terrible all week. Right, but something was emailed to me the other day. I got this notification from a lovely guy called Zero, the coolest name ever, and he basically says, we like your stuff, we like the way you do things, would you like to review one of our torches? Now, if you watch the channel, you remember a little while ago, actually, I was discussing about a deer that we have at our house in Rawton, where he's looking for a mate. So in the evenings, we get this constant burp, burp, where he's trying to find a friend. And we didn't have, although we've got a floodlight out the back of the house, we didn't have anything that I could go into the field and kind of get rid of him because he's freaking out my kids. Until now. So let's look at this. Here we have, let me just spin you around. Let's get this angled down so we can do a little bit of an unboxing and a discuss. Here we go. So this is the Wurkkos Ts27 light. It's a torch. Now, back in the day, I remember the old mag lights you used to get. They were very popular, and they had like 70 million batteries that used to go in the handle. The things weighed an absolute ton. But they stopped making them, and everyone went to sort of like piddly little LEDs, and sometimes you need a proper torch. Now, this thing, here we go. Nicely packaged, gives you some information about the torch, what it does. It's waterproof, it's RGB, it's white, it's got a turbo mode because we like turbos, and that's what it looks like. Let's unbox it. So first off, we're going to take off the little sleeve, and it comes in a little white package which has, we've got a magnetic flap. So we've got, first off it says, notice, remove the insulation discs from either end of the torch. So that would then allow the battery to do a circuit and then operate. So we'll open this first. And there's our torch. Let's put that to one side. So in the box, we've got the torch. We have a charging lead, USB type C to type A. And we've got what looks like a little, it's a lanyard, a handle grip, shall we say, which is going to locate onto the bottom of the torch here. Inside the bag, you've got your lanyard holder, but they also give you 2 spare rubber seals as well for the ends of the torch to keep the battery waterproof. So first off, let's go into the instruction manuals, and it says here is our Workos user manual. Oh, okay, we're opening it out. Oh, nice. So we've got, as you can see, a number of languages, depending on what you read and how you understand. But obviously we're going to go with English because I am English. And it is this one here, the top one. So it gives us a brief description about the torch. It's probably a bit small for the camera to pick up. And then it gives us the workings of how you get to the different settings, kind of like a London Underground map. So you kind of follow one route and then do this and do that. And it gives you lots of different settings, which is kind of cool. But it's laid out in a bit that you can understand nice and easy. Go grab the torch. Right, so, you know I'm an engineer. First and foremost, we appreciate the nice machining on this thing. So we've got some kind of nil cutouts to give it a bit of a grip in your hand, bit of a textile. That's nice. It feels weighty enough that it's not too heavy, but it feels heavy enough that it feels like quality. But we've got some nice little machining on the edges. And then on the handle itself, and on the back. We'll talk about this in a minute. Sorry, I'm moving too fast. We'll talk about this in a minute. But there is our little attachment to put on our lanyard, our little holder that we can have on our hand. We've got the controller, which again we'll discuss in a minute. It's got a dip switch in the middle, like a switch in the middle, and then it's got a turnstile one side and a turnstile the other side, so you can do different things. It's got lighting underneath, like a UFO, like it's got underglow, and then it's got a light on the top. Very clean lens with a little LED unit in the bottom there. So first off, let's undo it. Let's get our little disc out. Which side is the disc in? Oh, it's pop. Oh, there we go. There's our little disc. So we've got to remove that to create the circuit to allow the battery to work. And we've got a loaded spring in the bottom there. And we've got some nice machine thread screw inside. This is aluminium by the feel and the weight of it. It's nice and light, but it feels proper. So yeah, it's like a coated aluminium cover. Battery wise, God, look at this sausage. That's a big one. What we got? 15,000 milliamps. Jeez, that is a unit. So that's the top, that's the bottom, and in the bottom there we've also got a spring. Let's have a look at the other side of this. Oh, it's got a really nice thread to it, really nice feel. Yeah, it's aluminium tube, perfectly in the handle. We've got a little waterproof seal. There's a little rubber grommet just on the bottom of that thread there to keep the waterproofness of the torch. Let's tighten that up. You don't need to over tighten these things. Enough is enough kind of thing. So we push in on the spring. It's a really nice feel to that. And then you can just feel the rubber seal biting at the end to give us that watertight seal. There we go. And then let's go through some settings. So we've got button in the middle, press it once, it turns on the torch, and we have a little spot. Can you see that? If I press it again, it turns off. If I press it on and double press it, Jesus Christ, we go to a turbo mode. Everything has just gone very white. And then if I press it and hold it, I can actually dim the torch. See that? So I can choose my desired flash. And if I press it 3 times, I can get a strobe. I'm going to turn that away from the camera. Let me just turn this off. Jesus. So 3 times gives us a strobe, twice turns it on and off, and then obviously we can do the press and hold for the dimming and then the turbo mode. What I do like, let's just go over here with it a second. Let me just turn you round so we're at my door. So when I turn it on, can you see that little spot? And then if I press it twice, we get the big spot. There's no real deflection in the actual light pool, shall I say. It's a nice, smooth, clear light from all round. That actually looks really nice. And then 2, I can turn it off. And then that is off. I'm not going to turn it on at the camera because it will blind you and there's no point. Then if we go one way, so we'll go with the dip switch to the right, we then press it once and I get a little light underneath, which is probably, the camera doesn't show it. Oh, it might do actually. So as you can see from the glow on my fingers, it's actually a nice, almost like a creamy white color. It's light enough that you could do stuff with it on a book, but it's not too bright that it's too much. And then if I double press, it goes absolutely nuclear and it's more like a reverse floodlight. And then if I press it again, on, and turn it off. Jesus, we'll talk about this in a minute because I found a really cool use for this. We'll go the other way. So we'll go now to the left side. And if I press it once, we get RGB. Now, you see the green location button here. If I press and hold the button, it'll actually cycle through. So that's pink, orange, green, yellow, green, lighter blue, darker blue, purple, pink. Yes, there's many different colors on it. So if I press and hold it, I can actually cycle through the colors. And when I get to the colors I want it to stay at, like green, it can sit in green, or if I can press and hold it again, it'll then change over and we can have it to blue. Hopefully my skin is picking up the colors. And then we've got like a purpley pink. And if I double press, I turn it off. If I turn it on, and double press it, I can have a flash. 2 presses again gives me almost like a funky police light that goes from red one side to blue the other, and then a strobe. Press it twice again, we get this multicolored rotation. So this is going through the RGB colors, red, green. It's just slowly going through them. And there we go. If I press it twice again, we then get this like a UFO, like this. It's like a rainbow that's continuously rotating. Twice again, I get now a fading in and out of RGB. Twice again, I get this cool little red pulsating LED that goes around the torch, and it's slowly filling up the bar as it goes around, and it starts this side until it gets to the end, and then it changes color and it does the same thing again. So we've got like a bit of a party mode with it. Double press again, I get a slow rotation like a breathing lung from one side to the other. That's quite cool. And then again, it's changing its color through the RGB. So we've gone from red to orange, and then it'll probably change again. There we go. So it's going green, or it's like a yellowy green. That's cool. And I press it again, and we've got now like a searchlight. So it's going backwards and forwards, round and round, kind of like a Roswell UFO. 2 presses, and we're back into strobing RGB. Right, let me just turn this off. So this torch has many uses, lots of different options for colors, styles, flash, non-flashing. But it feels like a nice weighty unit. I can't wait to get this out the back of my house. Its range is, I think I read it was 800 meters, something like that. It's got quite a long range on it. We've got USB charger here. And now this, as I was talking about earlier, in the bottom of the torch, that is like a camera quarter drive screw thread, much the same as you get on a tripod. And I'm just going to pause the video here and come back to you in a second. I'm just going to set something up so you can see what I mean, how cool this is. Give me a second. Right, we're back. So, for all you camera folk, everyone knows that we do YouTube. Yes. We have a tripod here that I use on a daily basis for actual GoPros and cameras when we're filming cars. Now, the very useful thing about that thread in the bottom of the torch and how the RGB works, let me just screw the torch onto the very top of my tripod. So you can imagine I'm in the middle of nowhere, I'm camping or I'm working on a car, whatever, and I go, an LED light on the floor is not going to illuminate much apart from where I look. But what if I want more of a pool light? So if I go onto my underneath settings, the light comes on. If I double press it, and this is now outside my tent, let me just move you over here, everyone. You'll see that all of a sudden, I have now generated my own camping street light. Oh, the camera's lopsided. Let me just straighten you up. There we go. So I now have, around my camping area, mood lighting, or what did I drop on the floor? Like the light that this thing is emitting, you can probably see by the glow on the side of my face. It is so bright. Let's go back to the little one. There we go. So we've got a tiny little bit or a lot, or if we want to go the other way, we've then got different coloured RGBs, which will illuminate in quite a large area of all different colours, depending on how we're camping or where we're camping. As you can see now, the colours in my face changing from the torch. And this is just solely on a camera mounted tripod. So as well as using it by my hand and being able to light the way, I can actually now use it as a normal torch. I can use it as an illumination device around where I am if I want to make a note, or I can completely light my campsite or give others light just by inserting it into a tripod mount. How cool is that? So clearly, let me just switch that back. This thing has clearly been well thought out, because we've got a number of uses for this little torch, from normal mode to turbo mode and everything else in between. It's weighty, it feels like a nice solid torch. I like the rubber sealing on the ends of the battery. I like the machine work on the base of the torch and the end of the torch. I like the charging port is a waterproof USB-C. I'm pretty sure I think you can charge from this as well. So once you've charged your torch up, you can actually take charge from it as well, I think I read. But there is a million and one uses for having a good old-fashioned but new-fashioned torch, that this thing is going to create a gap, fill a gap in the market. It's brilliant. I absolutely love it. We're going to do an outside test. The weather here has been awful, absolutely awful all day. We've had a storm come in and it's been miserable. It's not stopped raining all day. I've actually washed out the garage about 4 times. But here we have, let me just spin you around. Let's just see this. So here we have outside my shop. Now, it is quite bright at the top. The sky is quite bright, but everything else down here is quite dark. There are a few people still doing stuff. So this building, I would make a guess at, it is 30 meters away from me, okay? So I'm just gonna turn the little torch on, and you can see there, I can illuminate. That's just the little one. That's not the big one, that's the little one. So the little one is that powerful. We get a little spot on the floor that I can shine 30 meters away already, and it's lighting up a building. Now, if I go turbo mode, it's literally like a full-on, oh yes, you can see that. Look at the lightsaber on this. That's gone a long way into the sky. It looks like a searchlight from 1944. I kid you not. But if you look at the building, can you see the pool of light I'm emitting on it? Like, the torch is still, I would hazard a guess, it's about a 45-degree angle, and we are probably 20 meters above that building. And look at the pool of light that I get from it when I bring the torch down. That's not even the main center focus of the torch. Look, when that torch comes down, look how bright it is. Can you imagine using this in the middle of nowhere? Like, it's like the beginning of Mr. Bean. Do you remember the program back in the 80s when he gets dropped out from the aliens? So that's the turbo side of the torch. Let's just flick it back up in the air. Gosh, look at the size of this thing, it's huge. Let's go. So this is RGB. Look at the color on the floor. Yeah. And then if I go the other way to our camping torch, so there's our little one, which is just illuminating my hand. But if I double press it, right, there's our bright one. So I'm just going to hold this here. Look at the area that this is illuminating. Like, around where I am now is like daylight. And that's just the underneath of this torch. It's not blinding. If you hold the torch down, I'm not having that in my eyes. I can safely see the floor wherever I'm walking, and it is not causing a problem to my eyes unless I lift it up and obviously look at the belly. But down like that, you could happily walk and illuminate such a huge patch of light just by the underneath of that torch. It has got lots of uses. Not just a torch, it does lots of cool stuff as well. But as an engineer, I appreciate the build, and I appreciate the fine aspect that somebody's gone to in thinking about how it should be designed and built and made, and what else you can use it for. And this, I've got to say, I can't wait to use it at my house in the dark and see how far across the fields I can actually see, because I've probably got a half a mile stretch, if not a mile, of field out the back of my house, and I reckon I could easily get to the end of that with some kind of light form. So this is the Wurkkos Ts27. If you want a torch, you want something cool, you like a little bit of a boy's toy, a little bit of a gadget, lads, buy one. Honestly, Christmas gift. It's a man thing. Knives, torches, you know, all the boy stuff. We like things like this, and I've got to say, this is super cool. The build, the weight, the usage, the options, the features, it is absolutely awesome. That's all I've got to say. So thank you, Workos, for sending me this. I didn't expect it, and it's nice to be reached out by a proper company that sells something decent. You know my love and hate relationship with Chinese stuff. I can't sell these radios But if I was a torch shop, I could definitely sell one of these. I'm going to use that. I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to play with it. It's going to be useful for fetching wood from the woodshed in this cold winter months. I can use the underglow light, or I can use the top light to get rid of the deer. It has 1,000,001 uses, and frankly, yes, I am really, really grateful you sent this to me, because I'm going to use it. It's going to be extremely useful. So thank you, Wurkkos. What a great, great item. The TS27. How cool. How cool. See you soon, boys.